Hello everyone, this is Latha Akula. In this video we are going to study about cell wall. So this is cell wall. It is a non-living rigid structure which is seen in several cells such as bacteria, fungi, algae and plants. In those cells, the outermost layer is called as cell wall. But this cell wall the chemical composition of this cell wall is not uniform in all these cells. It may vary from the cell to cell. For example, if you see the fungal cell, in fungal cell it is made up of a chemical substance called as chitin, which is chemically a polymer of N-acetyl glucosamine. And if you see in algal cell, in that the cell wall is made up of cellulose, galactans, mannans and minerals like calcium carbonate was present in the algal cell walls. And finally, the plant cell walls, the cell wall of the plants, they are made up of several insoluble polysaccharides such as cellulose, most commonly cellulose, and sometimes hemicellulose, pectin, and some other proteins were also present. And in plants, the cell wall, they consist of two regions. One is the primary cell wall and second one is the secondary cell wall. So there are two cell walls in the plant cell wall, that is primary cell wall and secondary cell walls are present in the plant cell. If you see the primary wall, it is seen in the young plants. Where it is seen, it is present in the young plants in the form of a single layer. It is in the form of a single layer. It is the characteristic feature of this primary cell is it is a thin, elastic. The primary cell, it can able to elastic and it can expand in the growing cells. And here this primary cell wall, it is mainly in the meristematic and parenchymatous cells. There is only primary wall is present. There is no secondary wall. And another one is the secondary wall. This secondary wall is present in the mature cells. The primary walls are present in the young plants, whereas the secondary walls are present in the mature cells. In addition to primary wall, secondary wall is present in the mature cells. And in the mature cells, there are several wall materials are added inside the primary wall. This is the primary cell wall. Inside this primary cell wall, there are several layers of wall materials are added. That is the secondary wall. It means the primary cell wall, it encloses the secondary cell wall. And because of the addition of these primary wall layers, that increases the thickening of the cell wall. What happens? Finally several layers of the cell wall was added inside the primary wall. What happens? There will be the thickening of the cell wall takes place. And the cells mostly these secondary walls are present mostly in the regions of the harder and woody parts like the lignified and superized walls. They consist of the secondary walls. And the next one is the middle lamella. This is the middle lamella. This black one is the middle lamella. Here this middle lamella, it is present between two adjacent cells. This is one cell. Adjacent to this, there is another cell, here another cell. Like that, there are different cells are formed in the tissue, right? So between cells, there is a layer, wall material is present between the cells, that is called as this black color region. That is called as middle lamella. And this middle lamella, how it is? It is thin, sticky and amorphous cementing material between the cells. And it is made up of calcium and magnesium peptides. So what is the chemical substance present in the middle lamella? Very important, that is calcium and magnesium peptides were present in the middle lamella. And if you see the middle lamella and the cell walls, they were transversed by, see these are cell walls and this is the middle lamella. They were transversed by Plasmodesmeta. These gap-like structures are present, right? These are called as Plasmodesmeta. Now we will see what the functions of the Plasmodesmeta also. And what are the functions of this cell wall? The cell wall that gives a proper shape to the cell, right? The cell wall is not present the cell is very flexible structure without having a proper shape. But because of the presence of this cell wall that assigns a proper shape to the cell, and not only that, they protect the cells. So the cell wall that gives protection to the cells from the outer harsh environments also, and prevents the attack of several pathogens. Pathogens means disease causing organisms like bacteria, fungi, viruses. From them, the cell is protected by this cell wall, and this cell wall allows the materials to pass in and out of the cells. By means of this cell wall only, several materials from the outside to inside and inside to outside that can able to move, and with the cell wall, the cell to cell interactions also occurs. These are the functions of the cell wall. So what are the functions? Once again, that gives a shape, protect the cell and protects it from the pathogens, and allows the materials to come inside and outside the cell, and the cell to cell interactions takes place with the cell wall. These are the functions. And the next concept is the pits. Here, pits are nothing but the cell wall is not uniform. Here, the cell wall is not uniform all over the cell. In several regions, the secondary wall is not formed. In some regions, inside the primary wall, what is present? Secondary wall is present. But in some regions, this secondary wall is not properly formed. In that region, some unthickened regions will be seen. Those unthickened areas are called as pits. Sometimes this is one cell and this is another cell. Sometimes what happens is these pits of the opposite cells, adjacent cells, will be formed at the same place, which will form the pit face. This is a pit present in this type, and this is a pit in the opposite side. They are facing opposite to each other, that form pit pairs. Pit pairs will be seen in the pits formed on the opposite sides of the adjacent cells. And these pits are of two types. One is simple pit and a bordered pit. Simple pit means the pit cavity is uniform all over. The diameter of the pit is uniform in all directions. That is called as simple pit. If the pit is in the form of a flask shaped structure, that is called as bordered pit. Like this, there are several different types of pits were present. The next concept is the Plasmodesmeta. Here, see, several gaps are present, right? These gaps are called as Plasmodesmeta. Plasmodesmeta is the only living component of the dead walls. We have studied that the cell wall is a dead wall, but here within the wall there is a living component is present. That is nothing but the Plasmodesmeta. It is very important. What is the living component in the dead wall? That is Plasmodesmeta. If you see the pits, within the pits there are a number of Plasmodesmeta or cytoplasmic strands were present. So within the pits there are a number of Plasmodesmeta or cytoplasmic strands are present, and these Plasmodesmeta are lined by plasma membrane, and which consists of fine tubules. Within the Plasmodesmeta, what are present? Fine tubules are present. They are called as desma tubules. What are they are called as? They are called as the fine tubules present within the Plasmodesmeta is called as a desma tubule. This is originated from the endoplasmic reticulum. From the endoplasmic reticulum, fine tubules will arise, which is called as desma tubules. By means of this, it forms the symplastic system between the cells. This is one cell, right? And this is another cell. And here another cells will be formed. Here, this endoplasmic reticulum, it form a fine tubule, right, which is called as desma tubule. It form a symplastic system between the cells. What is a symplastic system? It is a system of connection between the adjacent cells or the neighboring cells by means of the cytoplasmic strands. That connections are called as symplastic. That system is called as symplastic system. So they are formed by the Plasmodesmeta. That will be seen in the Plasmodesmeta. This is about the cell wall in the plants. And with this we have completed the cell wall. In the next video we are going to study about the endoplasmic reticulum. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel Latha Akula Biology Tutorial. Please keep watching.